Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Aramopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia.
And I'm Dahglian. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle, under pressure that will break a foe. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast. How long has it been, Talia?
It's been about a year.
About a year.
About a year.
Charles, how long has it been, man?
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
How would you know?
You just told me.
You don't know nothing.
Well, Charles doesn't know because he's never been on the show before, but
My first time, but I
been about a year.
here.
Welcome to the show.
We've actually been trying to schedule this episode for a while, right?
But I was there at the live event you guys did.
No, we got you on that live.
The live event.
We've been
was-
trying to schedule
Bring
get
it
it
back
on the
on the
podcast for a while.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Better late than never, they say. I don't know.
Look, it's 2025. Things take time. Good things take time, and we're finally here on the show.
I'm happy to be here on the show.
We made it.
Mm-hmm.
We did that.
Talia, you know Charles Dahglian? Dahglian.
Dahglian for the
Mr.
Dahglian.
Fantastic.
If you're Armenian or you know any Armenians, you know that's how you pronounce the last name always.
I'm not even going to attempt to say it.
Kardashian.
You went You went Mr. Fantastic right away. That's
Yeah.
easier.
It is easier
It's
to
much
remember.
easier, yeah.
Say, pronounce, yeah. Yeah, so I've known Charles for a minute.
You know Charles for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
I actually met Charles when we did that show. I forgot which one. I think it was the
Cafe Campus.
Cafe Campus show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
With all the great artists that were performing.
if I have a comedian, he wants to perform a set, it was last minute. I threw you on there, caused a bit of a commotion with the rest of the performers.
I like to do that. I like to cause commotions wherever I go. It's just the way I am, and that's the diva that I am.
It was funny. You came very raw with it.
Very raw.
Very raw.
Look like a dick with no condom. That's what I look like. Extremely
Straight
raw,
eye contact.
right at it. Yeah, with everybody.
Talia, you know Charles better than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
Introduce him a little better.
Okay, well, Charles is a clown. If you don't like clowns, I don't know what to tell you.
Tune off the podcast. Go.
He's a
Go watch some
comedian.
sad shit.
From my own personal experience, he's a singer.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a good time, this guy.
I'm whatever I need to be. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
what that means.
I don't know what you were trying to.
You can edit that out. It's all right.
So Charles, we obviously know you're Armenian.
I am.
We mentioned that
Because of my nose, right?
because of your nose, because of your last name.
Gives it away.
Yeah.
Just give away.
Maybe the beard. Could it be the beard?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what it
Armenians-
is.
We're hairy, but not on the chin. Usually it's the back.
Each possess.
Lavin.
Like-
Shot Lavin. You know any Armenian?
Majun.
Actually, not many.
We'll
Not
teach you.
many Armenians.
I was gonna. I meant like, do you
The-
know
the
any
language,
Armenian words?
I caught on afterwards.
if you don't even know any people, then I don't think.
Well,
yeah.
I know like Zach and all
You know
this.
Zach Sarkisian. Shout out to him. Amazing guitarist.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
all them. Those are the Armenians I know.
There you go. We're in music.
You know, another question. Do all Armenians last names end with IAN or
Yeah, they do. Well, most of us
like
do.
is
Yes.
there somebody that does it? You know, I mean, maybe out there.
There are some people that don't have it or they remove it, like Aznavour was Aznavourian. Yeah, Charles Aznavour. Yeah,
Well, you know.
yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
But it was like something that the Turkish people did so they can stamp and know exactly which ones are Armenian, you know?
Right.
So,
That's the same thing in Greece,
really?
since we have similar occupational stories with the Ottoman Empire. The reason why some Greek people's last name end with Akis or end with Opolis and stuff like that is because of the region of Greece that they were from, and that's how the Turks would identify where they
Really?
were from.
Damn, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Wow. So we're like cousins, man. We just live the same thing in a different place. You know what I mean?
So Charles, what neighborhood are you from? Where do you reside, my man?
I'm from Champton, Champedy.
God.
I'm from Laval.
The
born and
ghetto. He's from
raised.
the slums.
Exactly.
The slums of
exactly.
Montreal.
You know,
He's one of yours, Talia.
No.
You're a Lavaler too, no?
No.
Technically,
I'm a mascusher.
you're Mascoucher.
Yeah.
Damn, that's even further, and we're getting judgment. Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
Listen, Mascush ain't the ghetto, but like it's
Just
like
further.
the suburbs.
Yeah, it's suburbs,
Full of
but it's
French
further.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I grew up.
And
I was in Chomedy for a couple of years though.
You were?
Yeah,
What part of Shamedy? Which?
like the beginning of it, like on Notre Dame and Charles Bus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I know exactly where you were. I know
Yeah.
exactly.
So
I don't live there anymore, so
I don't live there anymore too, but it's still my hood. You know what I'm saying? Representing the sea, the Champton.
the
You know what I mean?
cuts.
Oh wow, you gotta go there. That's my peoples right there. You disrespecting my people.
don't be throwing them C's up in Saint Michel, bro.
The mascochers, you see?
The
Like,
M.
yeah, there you go. The McDonald's fucking.
I actually worked at McDonald's and it was fucking terrible.
You did? How
Yeah.
long did you work at McDonald's?
Like 6 months, I had to get the fuck out of
the
it.
hustle. That's part of the hustle. That's part of the hustle. Exactly.
You know? No, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But what did you do at the McDonald's? Were you working at the cash?
I was doing everything. My
Really?
first day at McDonald's, you know what they had me doing?
Really?
They had me doing all the fries.
Really?
So all day I was just burning my hands.
I thought they would have, knowing you, they would have been extra salty.
Oh, absolutely.
Bro, they got me doing the fries. Oh man, no fucking way.
But
They got-
the worst thing in life is when you go to McDonald's, you get the fries and there's no salt on them.
I know.
Like someone's not doing their job right.
Exactly. And apparently they have to do an M with
No.
it, right?
Talking, but no.
That's what I saw in the, like that's what they said. It's like you gotta do an M. and,
No,
like,
that's
that's how you know it's
Who
the
told you
amount.
that?
I think it was in the McDonald's movie, no?
I used to work there.
No, but it was in the McDonald's movie.
No, that shit was like
Okay,
nice.
so
that's
we got Talia's McDonald's story, a
Backstory.
little backstory.
backstory. Okay, yeah.
What about your backstory, man?
My backstory. Oh, what did
Well,
I-
Harry.
Where did I work?
How'd you lose your hair? Where did you work?
Oh man, I was born bald. Honestly, I think I didn't have hair until I was 2 years old. And like I started to get it. And then when I was 16, 17, I started to lose it again. So for me, like I said, like Talia was talking about McDonald's. For me, hair was like the McRib at McDonald's. It was only available for a limited time. That's it, you know? Yeah, I got fucked over on that deal. But at one point, I did a shave to save. I have a friend who got cancer, so I was like, you know what? Let me try this. Let me raise some money. Let me shave my head. And since then, it's been great. Never paid for shampoo since, and it's been amazing. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's become part of the look as well. You know,
But you were saying that like Armenians have a lot of hair on their back. Is that where it migrated to?
Armenians are bald as fuck too. You know, like-
Shoulder blade.
exactly. They look like Wolverine or some shit. You know?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us some more. What'd you work? What'd you do?
So I've always been in comedy. This is something that since I was a kid, I was always drawn to. So every time there was an opportunity to grab a microphone, whether it was at school or at a family gathering or some kind of, event, I was always drawn to it to try to either want to sing a song or tell some jokes, And then I was very fortunate enough, in my life that I was doing acting classes at school and improv classes and theater because my parents saw that, I liked doing that. And somebody saw me somewhere and, it's a thing of circumstance and chance or destiny or fate, however everybody wants to call it. But the right circumstance came that Just for Laughs was looking for a young kid to host one of their Just for Laughs galas. And I met with the producers and I was chosen to do that. And for one summer of my life, I was probably 9 years old and I'm still in elementary school. I was able to go do a Just for Laughs gala and learn
That's cool.
what it's like to write a gala, do musical numbers, practice with some, choreographers, singing coaches, and, going and doing press for it, press conferences, interviews, being on talk shows, on the radio, on in newspapers. And you're a kid, you're 9 years old. All you're thinking is, I'm missing school, and you're not realizing the magnitude that you're in this, industry where they're spending money and they're trying to make their money back and whatever. You're just there and it's all
Innocent.
exactly. It's all for play.
Mhm.
It's the same way that when you're playing with your cousins or you're playing dress up or whatever with your sister, And I got to do that and I was hooked. I was like, this is exactly what I want to
You got a taste of that Gary Coleman life.
Oh, yeah, but that's the point. That's what happened that was different in my life. My parents never looked to kind of pimp me out to be making money off of me. My parents are successful in their own right. My dad's an architect. He builds houses. My mom does human resources. So they wanted to make sure that I wouldn't end up in that Macaulay Culkin, Lindsay Lohan type of, place where the industry just sucks your youth, And they always figured that if this is what he really wants to do and if this is what he's meant to do, then he will come back to it in his way. But my parents are also immigrant parents, and they're like, I still want him to have some kind of an education. We can't just let him go do something, and if it doesn't work out, then what is he gonna do? So that's how I really got into filmmaking. I was like, it was another way for me to channel my comedy. I was able to, instead of doing it on stage, have discovered that you can grab a camera, you can edit stuff on a computer. And I was like, now you can deliver comedy in a different way. It's like you're telling a joke, but it'll take you 6 months to a year to 5 years before you hear if the punchline to that worked. So I really got into filmmaking, went to film school, university, and all the way to, I went to university in Vancouver to finish my bachelor's degree there in film production. And that's when I was in Vancouver. I went to, I say once in a while, I'd still flirt with stand up. It was always in the back of my mind. And I was always like, I want to be able to kind of, still watch the greats and still be influenced by that. So
Yeah.
when the Just for Laughs festival would come around, I'd tell my entire friends and family, I'm like, I'm dead for the next 2 weeks. I don't exist. And I, like a junkie, I'll see like at 7 o'clock, there's this show. It's an hour long. After that, there's a 8 o'clock here, 9 o'clock. And I'd just go see all these great guys. I went to see Sebastian Maniscalco. I was in a room, there's 40 people, guys doing the Bell Center. And he picked on me because I was in the front row. So I'm a huge fan. And had always considered getting back into it. And then when I moved to Vancouver, I shot a documentary about stand-up comedy. I'm like, why do people not see it necessarily like an art form the same way that, a violinist is. And sometimes somebody bombs, and we go, that guy wasn't funny. But let's try to understand what did this guy go through beforehand for him to have not, been funny. Maybe the guy wrote his jokes, weeks in advance, and, all the stress that goes into it, and he's got anxiety. So that's, because people just see what's not funny. They don't see what the person went through before that. If you have a shit day, you still have to go perform, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was that side of it that I wanted to show. And I went and did a set at the club that I was going to film at, and then I got hooked right away. I got back into it, and I started a little bit of this like sports. I'm like, I wanted to find something that I was going to do every week and that I was going to try to get better at, like a sport. I'm not a very athletic person, but this to me seemed like that. And it's been 8 years now since I really started to commit to it and spend time trying to develop it. And I've been traveling because of it. And it's been opening more opportunities in my personal life and everything. So it's become really a full circle. I came back to it by myself.
Yes.
I still like to make films as well and find other ways to do the comedy, but it's like, it's my love. It's like, there's nothing better than feeling that room of people laughing.
Yeah.
It's like pure positive energy that's being shared, and kind of that it's palpable in a room. Everybody leaves there and it's like they went to therapy. They're like, oh my God, I needed that. I like, my neck feels better, my back feels better. So I'm not saying I'm a doctor. What I'm saying is I'm saving lives and I'm making
You're
I'm
just Mr.
joking.
Fantastic.
You remember the movie with Robin Williams?
Patch Adams.
You're Patch Adams.
I'm Patch Adams. I love that man. I'm a huge. That's my favorite comedian.
Rest,
People ask me,
rest in peace to Robin.
rest in peace. People go, who's your favorite comedian? I go, it's Robin Williams.
He was the best.
He was unbelievable, the things that he would do. There's hours and hours of audio that he recorded for Aladdin, where like it could have been a rated R movie, like, and they started to draw the genie, and they heard what he was doing, and they said, "Nah, we can't match what he's doing to what we drew. We gotta draw based on what he's doing." The guy, you let him in a room on a talk show, you would forget who the host was. It became his show. So I'm a huge fan of Robin Williams. Love his energy.
So you say Robin Williams is one of your favorites?
Yes.
Give me 4 more.
4 more. Okay.
I know you got there's a shitload of comedians.
Okay. I'm gonna lob a couple together because I'm a huge, So when I was growing up, I loved Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey. They used to be funny in movies, but they were comedians as well, So I loved watching these guys. I loved Jerry Seinfeld. I was a huge Seinfeld fan. To be like somebody, the way he uses every word like precisely, he's a very meticulous writer, which is what I love about him. Like it's every joke is perfectly trimmed. And I'm a huge fan of Seinfeld, and because of that, I'm a fan of Larry David. The Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite show. So that type of writing, I'm a big fan. And then I like Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Andrew Schultz. I'm a big Chappelle fan because of the way sometimes he doesn't need to make a joke. It's just the point of what he's talking about, He's like a modern George Carlin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of great comedians, man, that shaped me into finding my voice, figuring out how to hone
You
it.
gave a good list there.
I think I went over them 4.
You went over 4.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected Jim Carrey. Like, he's a great comedian, but I just wouldn't have expected you to throw him into the list. I would have expected to hear like a Richard Pryor, you know what I mean? What?
For sure. I mean, people always think of the classic.
Delirious Raw. Eddie Murphy, Delirious Raw classic. I love that stand-up bit. You know who just came out with a show that's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty fucking hilarious. You got to check it out. It's called Bad Thoughts by Tom Segura.
Yeah, I just watched it.
Dude.
I just watched it.
Come on, it was so fucking.
It was crazy.
I like the length. The length was perfect.
Yeah, it was
They
like
don't drag it out, you know what I mean? Some stuff's 2-3 minutes long, but it was just right.
And I love how we're pushing the boundaries of what we can talk about and what we can show in comedy. Somebody was saying it's like rock nowadays. You're watching these comedians walk into arenas and it's like 20,000 people. They're like rock stars, And the same way rock stars used to push boundaries in terms of like what they used to talk about in their songs or their personas, comedy's kind of becoming that in a way where a lot of people it's quick. You're watching 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, but this guy's saying something and you're going, wow, that's crazy that he said that. But I've probably thought about it. I would have never said it, And there's a way to walk that line where it's like, you don't want it to be distasteful and you don't want it to be gratuitous. And that's where the artistry comes in, That somebody's listening to that and go, I know he doesn't necessarily maybe mean that, but that was just done in a very clever way.
Yeah, it was like respectful.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing a joke about a specific topic, but it's not that you're making fun of that thing. You're using that topic as a subject to be able to talk about other things maybe, or, to be able to do a joke about yourself. I love self-deprecation because it opens the door to talk about everything. You know what I mean? And necessarily you're not pointing at that person. Now you're just using yourself as a scapegoat. So, and also, I mean, if you can't make fun of yourself, how are you going to start making fun of this guy and that guy, That's how I started. I started by writing bald jokes, what I look like. I used to do 5 minutes of that, and at some point I went, well, I got other shit that I want to talk about too,
Have you ever pushed those buttons before? Like, you've been on stage, you said that joke, and somebody just like fucking lost it.
All the time. I did it the other day at an Armenian event. Like, there was this woman sitting in the front row, and I said, you know how some women, they don't like to be called a woman. They like to be called Mrs. or Miss or Ma'am. And like, I was trying to figure, I said, oh, this woman. And she went, I'm not a woman. I'm a ma'am. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, miss. And she's like, no, not miss. I'm a ma'am. I said, look, it's 2025. You want to be miss, ma'am, sir. You can be whatever you want to be. And she didn't like it that I said that, And I was like, and it was in the moment. It was spontaneous. There's always going to be somebody that might not like it. But if your intention is not to be cruel, it's like, it's part of the thing. It's like, there's going to be collateral damage sometimes. And it's like, the point is to try to get as many people to not be offended, but you can't control how people feel, At the end of the day, I say it depends on your intentions, You you can feel somebody's intentions when they say something. You know, that seemed a little malicious. You know what I mean? Like you didn't need to go that far. You know. So yeah, I get that.
Have you ever been heckled?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I did a Haitian cabaret sucre one time. This was my best heckling story, I think. And you know, it was a Haitian cabaret sucre because instead of a bottle of maple syrup in the middle of the table, it was a bottle of Hennessy. Every table had it, and I was the only act on the show. And the guy that brought me up, they stopped the music, they stopped the thing, and they're like, "Now we're gonna have some comedy." So already it's like you're forcing people to have to shut up. And then this guy goes, "Our comedian tonight, he's short, he's bald, he's white. Give it up for Charles Dahglian." And I walk out, and it's like sending one sheep in front of 1,000 wolves. You know what I mean? And I'm sweating, and I'm doing my jokes, and it's not going well. And then at one point, this woman grabs a napkin and she just slaps it on my forehead that was covered in sweat. True story. And then she looks above me, behind me, where the DJ was, and she goes, "Excuse me, can we turn the music back on?" And I said, "Thank you very much." And I got off stage, and I was like, that was cringe. And I was outside, and I was like, I felt like that was the worst gig I'd ever done. And then somebody comes out, and he sees me, and he starts to laugh, and he goes, "Man, you all right. You all right, man." And, you know, just like, you'll always find somebody who's going to maybe
Yeah.
appreciate it. But
Yeah.
Dude.
That doesn't necessarily mean he appreciated it.
yeah, maybe he just got bad. Yeah. He just, that's all he said, and he left, to be fair. Yeah.
It reminds me of this one time I went to a house party, and my friend picks me up. He's like, "Oh, we're going to a house party, I don't know, Saint Michel or something." We get to the spot. Literally, we're the only two white guys at this party. It was like 100 Haitian people or Jamaican. I don't know where they were. I think they were Haitian then. So we get there. It's like a pool party going on, and there's a barbecue going on. And I'm hungry. I want to get something to eat, and I'm waiting in this line to get a cheeseburger or a pork chop. And the guy that's grilling the meat, like, I'm right here in front of the barbecue. He's giving everybody else food except me. And that's I'm like, "Come on, man, just let me get a pork chop, bro." And he just keeps looking at me, and he's giving everybody else food. And then finally, you know what he does? He gives me half a pork chop. He gave me half a pork chop. I'm like, "Oh, man."
And that's how it ended. He wasn't even kidding. Oh, yeah. My God.
Wow.
Damn. Oh, my God.
I felt so fucking discriminated against.
Oh, my God.
You weren't invited to the cookout.
No, exactly. You got to be invited to the cookout, to be fair. It's upon invitation.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
You just brought that up. I had to share it.
Yeah. Do you get invited to the cookouts?
I mean, like, all my friends are like black, so yeah.
Right away, you understood the code. You said it.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, you got to be invited.
Like, I have a good like mixed friend group, you know. We got the whites, got the blacks, we got the Latinos, we got everything. We're a good little gang.
I think that's what's beautiful about Montreal is this multiculturality. And I think that's why I think it's one of those cities where you can get away with doing jokes about everybody.
Yeah.
Because we all are used to growing up together and poking fun at each other. Because we know, and also we'll use each other's words, you know? Like, it's become such a multicultural city. They're trying to force French down our throats. Like, buddy, we're past French. People are speaking Arabic, and they're speaking Creole. They're speaking Spanish to each other, and it's part of our vocabulary, you know what I mean? To the point where Montreal has this beautiful thing where if you go on stage and you're making fun of something, everybody's going to kind of be okay with it because it's like, he's going to get it, she's going to get it. Everybody, we're going to poke fun at each other. And it's like, as long as in the end you're making fun of the French, that's what counts. You just have to make, that's the real target, right? That's the one thing that unites all these cultures.
I called them out today, actually.
You
the
did?
French. Yeah.
Who?
On my Instagram.
What did you do?
Because, okay, I guess we're going to bring up this topic. So I was listening to the radio on my way to work because I'm getting old now and that's what I do. And they were saying that Quebec wants to start pushing the French language to our like social, like our platforms like YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, Apple
Yeah,
Music.
absolutely.
So what it means is that they're going to like push French music, French videos, French all that. And yeah, I was just saying, like, who's the French fuck that went to their English buddy's house and was like, hey, c'est quoi ça ici? Je veux pas écouter The Office, je veux écouter Le Bureau, you know? Like, and I went and made a fucking complaint about it, you know? Like, so yeah, I was making fun of them a little bit today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I feel like people would want to do it if it wasn't imposed. You know what I mean? Like it's like if it's your parents imposing a curfew, you're like, I'm gonna go out. But like if they weren't shoving it down our throat and they were like, hey, if you learn French, these are the benefits that you can get. And you know what? If you're gonna put out an album, put out your English album, but we'll challenge you, do a French song. You know what I mean? Maybe that would push people to be like, hey, and then what if that French song blows up? You don't think that artist is going to be like, hey, I'm going to want to do maybe more French music because I'm seeing that there's a market for it or whatever. Same for comedy. I used to do it only in English. And then I was like, but I speak French. I speak French perfectly well. Why wouldn't I go do it in French? And since I've started to do it in French, I just opened myself up to another market. But I did it because it was my decision, not because it was
Someone told you
forcing me
Yeah.
to. So that's why I'm just saying, like, I make fun of them plenty as well because of the imposition and the irony. I do a joke where I say it's ironic. You can't tell me I have to speak French, but then you turn around and say, hey, Johnny, j'ai parqué mon pick-up dans ton driveway. I go, come on, man. That doesn't make sense. I go, half the sentences in English, and the guy's called Jean-Michel. Don't call him Johnny, you know? So we need to be, you know, if they were not imposing it, they were encouraging it, I think, you know, if they're giving grants to be like, hey, go do your art, but try to incorporate some French into it or do come do a French album or whatever.
Well,
I
they
think
do
it
have
would be-
that.
yeah.
They actually do have that. So Quebec does have grants for like French music artists,
But not for the Anglophones, right?
not for the Anglophones.
there you
so
go.
there's like another grant for all of Canada. So your competition just like, you know, it
Exactly.
outnumbers Quebec, obviously. So, but yeah, they do kind of, I guess, what you just said, like,
Force it, impose it.
yeah,
right?
not impose it, more like encourage it.
Encourage it. So I feel like there should be a way to kind of not penalize the ones that are not speaking it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know, it's turning people off, I find, and it's not the goal. It's
Look,
not the goal.
that's the temperature here in Montreal, right? Like, how about Laval? Is that the same temperature when it comes to speaking English and French? Or
Well, that's why I started my comedy show in Laval, because I was like, there's no English comedy show in Laval. There's all these Anglophone speakers. Why wouldn't we have it? Why do we have to drive all the way till downtown to be able to do our show? So I started 3 years ago, and it's been a blast doing it since, you know. You're finding all the Anglophone speakers in Laval that are coming out to this one show once a month. We're kind of like this group of people that love comedy. So everybody that's getting to perform there is performing in front of an audience that came there and want to be hearing some good comedians perform. So, and with the live band, it just creates quite an environment where it's like a evening. It's a Saturday Night Live, but on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm glad this topic got brought up because I was gonna bring up the House of Jazz and see if like you're still doing that.
I sell every month. Yeah,
Yeah, and you mentioned before that I have my practice with Zach this weekend.
exactly. Yeah, that's the goal. I'm trying to hint at Zach being able to kind of have a great band there, to be able to be dynamic and be able to bring the energy up in the room. So hopefully everything goes well. Guys will be able to see Talia and Zach at the House of Jazz sometime soon.
oh, we heard it here first.
Yeah. He's a fantastic musician, and it's been a while. We've been trying to find the right thing for you guys to come and do live, and I hope it works out. Really do.
We're
really,
gonna see. We're
really.
gonna see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say people want to get tickets to Laval's Got Jokes.
You can go on my website, on my Instagram, mrfantastic.ca, or Mr. Fantastic Show on Instagram. You can book or you can even go on the House of Jazz website. You make a reservation. If you're a big group, let me know. We can hook you guys up. If it's your birthday, you come in for free. And it doesn't need to be the day of, like, yeah, surrounding. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's a stickler. I'm not, I'm not like SAAQ over here trying to check if it's your birthday and if your license has been expired or whatever. But We like to kind of make it feel like it's the house of jazz. We like to make it feel like you're at home, you know?
Yeah, it's a really nice place.
Thank you. It is.
It's really cozy.
You walk into the place and it's like a Pandora's box. There's chandeliers everywhere. There's curtains, the lights, the food. It's a really nice evening out, you know?
It's I've had a great evening there a few years ago. I think I've been two, 3 times.
Yeah, yeah,
Usually you get the 3-course meal. You have last time was the Bob Ritchie band performing.
yeah, yeah.
Dope artist. Really, really dope.
Yeah, dope artist. So Dave, his dad's there with the band. Always had a great time there. The food's good.
That's such a nice family.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
such a nice family. The Richies, oh, shout out to them.
He came to do because Zach always does the sound, and then he couldn't, so David came, and he brought his girlfriend, really lovely, and they just sat at the bar. He was doing the sound, and they had a nice date night together. Thought it was really nice, you know, like that. They looked cute together, and he's a good guy. He came in and helped us out at the show. I haven't heard him play though. I thought I'd be very
Oh, he's
interested.
really good. He's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the beauty of my show. Like the same way I have a rotation of comedians, I like to rotate bands as well. So we can discover new bands as well when you're at this show, you know. And I just give everybody the same guidelines. I want it to be upbeat music. I want it to get people in the mood for a comedy show before, and still, you know, I want somebody that's a band that's dynamic as well. If the comedians can bounce off of them, it makes something that it's just so unique to that moment. No other place in can offer that. And also that moment could have only been created there. So it creates for these spontaneous, funny, magical moments. I had this guy sit down at the piano and he started to write a song about somebody that was sitting in the audience. And the band just picked up on it.
Yeah, they just
and
went
they
with
just
it.
went with it. And that was like only could have been created there. Actually, that guy's going to be headlining June 3rd at the House of Jazz. His name is Dion Owen, fantastic comedian. But to be able to have that piano available for if a comedian wants to sit down and write a song, you're showcasing all these sides of this artist. You know what I mean? And it just makes it that like people are like, wow, that joke was created right now in that
It feels
moment,
so
you know?
like real, like authentic,
Exactly.
like on the spot. Like you feel like you're a part of it, you know?
It was for us.
Yeah.
This was for us. We lived it together, and like it probably got filmed, and it's gonna get put on Instagram or TikTok, but it was the energy in that room was like that. We're all experiencing this together happen, and this guy's coming up with this shit as he's thinking. That's what I like about the room, because everybody comes and has fun. The band can ask.
And it's like it's very intimate.
Yeah,
But I want to segue a bit. I want to.
yeah, absolutely.
So, as a comedian, do you use TikTok a lot?
I should. I'm a little old, and I feel like I'm not in touch too much with my marketing. I use Instagram a lot. That's where I like to put my videos.
So when I say that, I mean like, are you like watching TikTok videos? Like, are you keeping up with like current events, current trends, like what's going on?
Absolutely not.
You need to get on that.
I need to.
You
I
need
know.
to get on.
I know the
that.
new thing is like people that are reacting to watching a video. I know the new thing is like, doing things where it's like you're at home with limited costumes and you're playing these characters and creating scenarios. So it's more about the content creation. I just love for me, as much as I went to film school and I love making content in more of a cinematic way, I feel like I haven't been trained for that new way of doing things, you know? And also, I love creating my content with what happened on stage. Because there's a thing that I find about that is that you have to always be on if you're on TikTok or on that, it's your public, there's no such thing as your private life and your public life. You're this person all the time. And the beauty of being a stand-up comedian on stage is that when you go up, you're that guy, but when you get off, you can be yourself again. Like it's cool. I'm here. We're chatting. I'm on, but I don't feel like I'm having to give a performance for this camera that's here. Instead of when I'm filming myself and I have to be like, hey guys, how's it going? Really happy to see everybody. There's nobody there. You know what I mean? There's that sense of I've never been able to click to that, but that's the name of the game these days, and that's how you get more followers and views and
You have to be a character online. You need to be
exactly.
relatable. You need to be like constantly posting and putting your face out there.
I agree. So that's where I feel I'm lacking right now. And everything that I'm creating is for either live moments or extracted from live moments, which I need to kind of figure. But I'm too much. I went to film school. I'm like, I have to write 17 drafts of a script. I have to have, spend hours on the editing. The shot has to look great. So this whole idea of it doing
Like on the spot, fly, like
but that's what I love about where we're at in the world. Now you don't need to go rent a camera. You don't need to go to a place to edit your footage or whatever. You're doing all of it on your phone. So now it's made it that everybody's a filmmaker. You didn't go to film school. You could be a filmmaker now. You're editing on CapCut. You filmed it with your phone. So there's this thing where now everybody is content creator.
wait, I have to go get something.
Okay. Go. We're going to go on a commercial break.
No,
right
it's not
now,
a commercial
guys.
break.
Who's the sponsor? Can I plug the sponsor?
There's no sponsor.
So this show was sponsored by TikTok.
So you're saying content creation. Look at this thing.
You got the lights. Oh.
You can like, and then you just clip it to your phone and you film.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Fantastic lighting, might I say.
Always looking on fleek.
These, and you need to get your ass on TikTok. I'm telling you. Not just for the content, literally for the material you can get from TikTok. Like, I'll give you an example of what was trending this last week on TikTok.
Okay.
A black woman came on TikTok and literally said, gingers are black. So all week on TikTok, it's just been the black community accepting gingers as black people.
Oh, really?
Been hilarious. Like, it's so like innocent and funny. Like, and everyone knows it's like, it's not for real, but like,
It's one that I saw recently too. Some guy saying he's transracial. He's like, I'm a black guy in a white man's body. But he was being super serious about it. And he's like trolling hard. And you have the comments, like people like, support my brother.
or like now the gingers are saying you can't say gingers with the heavy ER. It's ginjas. Like they just like it's so funny. Like the things you can like find on TikTok, like what's trending, you could use that in like your
material.
materials,
Absolutely.
So I don't know, just
No, I get it for sure. And I guess you could be more relatable as well with what's currently happening.
yeah.
With also the people that are going to be watching what you're going to be putting out. If you're talking about what's already happening there, you can make it trending a little bit more as well.
I can see you in sketch comedy clips on 1 minute clips on TikTok. I can see you putting on a wig, this, that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes I shot, but it's like I said, I went to Vancouver, for example.
Yeah. So you're
And-
very like particular with what you put out.
When I
I
went
went to Juilliard.
exactly on this auteur where I sit there with the scarf and I go, what the lens are we using for this? And it's like it's a iPhone 10, and I'm like, the lens of the iPhone 10. Yes, of course.
Can we side note? Have you guys been keeping up with any of the P. Diddy trial?
Yes.
A little bit.
I've been on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. That man is crazy.
I saw one comment. He posted the picture of the 12 escorts, but apparently
They're so ugly.
they're so fucking ugly. But I was looking at the comments because once you see the picture, I'm like, you always got to look at the comments, right? So of course, that's the most.
I don't even finish the video. I'm like 3 seconds in the video and I'm already in the comments.
Yeah.
So one of
Somebody made that joke that you're already thinking. I hope nobody made.
Did he walk into the barbershop and ask for everybody in the picture? Because it looks like a barbershop. It looks like a hairstyles, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was hilarious.
I love when all of a sudden, all of these celebrities, when they get caught and they're going to trial, all of a sudden they make them look so messed up. Like he's got white hair all of a sudden. He looks like a fucking Morgan Freeman all of a sudden.
Well, the man's been in jail for a year. He's old. Like he doesn't have his.
He's old. How old is Diddy?
Almost 60.
Almost 60. You know, he has grays.
Almost
But when
60.
he's not in jail, like he's keeping up with that shit, you know?
No, I get it. But I mean,
Dying
I
at
saw the picture and it was like white hair. I was like, did Morgan Freeman go to jail? Why is it? He's got that hair. He's just missing that earpiece. He looks like Shawshank Redemption in there, you know?
That's the other one. They showed a picture of Mohawk Diddy. Diddy with a mohawk. Remember back in like, I think it was mid 2000s, like the half a speed ramp, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to know that Mohawk Diddy was probably the most diabolical Diddy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw it. That man was wild. Yo, that's crazy.
It's crazy because it feels like it was kind of in our face the whole time, and we're like, when it pops out, we're like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of understand and it makes sense. It's not like we're all absolutely shocked, you know what I mean?
Look, it was being promoted like right now as like this big human trafficking case. This whole week has been nothing about it's been nothing except Cassie, right? Cassie. When do we get into like all that crazy other shit? That's what I want to know.
I think they're saving that for the season finale.
Well, this is like a 12-week trial.
South Park is gonna kill right now when they come out with a new episode.
Oh yeah, of course.
The thing is, like, right now, how they're making it sound is like it's like a domestic violence.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole fucking scenario, the whole narrative switched up.
Yeah.
It went from being they found guns, drugs, you're saying kids or something.
From
at one
what
point.
they
Fuck
said,
on.
they found one gun in his bedroom, and his fingerprints weren't even on it. Like,
and now it's just being about like whether Cassie's a hoe or not. And you have everybody, like all these rappers, they're all commenting like, well, she never said no, or she kept going back to Diddy. Like, I don't know, like some weird shit.
I mean, I feel like that's the new thing as well. And like these crazy Hollywood trials, it's like we're getting so focused and like everybody's watching these things. Then you just like can slip any other news right by on the other side because everybody just gives a shit about did Amber Heard shit in Johnny Depp's bed? You know, like
she absolutely did.
I know. I find it ironic. She left Willy Wonka a chocolate bar. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's not how the rules work. It's not how the rules work. You gotta get a golden ticket, bitch. I'm sorry. That was a little bit.
No,
too-
she's
too-
a bitch. She's crazy. But I don't think he was innocent either there.
No, they're both ape shit. But I mean,
Absolutely,
Bro,
100%.
She ruined her life so bad that she moved to Barcelona.
really?
Yeah, she lives in Spain now.
Oh, I had no idea.
Spain now where nobody knows who the fuck she is.
She's Amber Heard.
Good for her. Amber never heard of her, you know?
Exactly. She went from Amber Heard to Amber who? Yeah.
Amber heard what?
Yeah.
What she hear?
You ain't heard nothing.
You ain't heard nothing about me. Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyways, besides like Diddy and Cassie, you keep mentioning all these other celebrities that are gonna be brought up.
Oh, Kid Cudi went up today. He was
He was on.
Oh yeah.
But him, he's a victim too of Diddy.
yeah, because someone blew up his car.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh shit. Kid Cudi's car.
Yeah. Because apparently, like, Cassie, when her and Diddy weren't together, like, they were on and off or whatever, she was talking to Cudi, whatever his name is. And, like, yeah, Diddy was not happy about it.
So he blew up his car?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But they're saying now that there was DNA, like, fingerprints, and it was only a female's fingerprints on the car. So they're trying to, like, the defense is trying to say that, like, Cassie did it. Yeah.
She tried to blow up Kid Cudi?
Scorns a woman.
Oh shit. Why would she do that? His Kid Cudi was going back to Diddy? Like what's going on? What way does do the arrows of the triangle point? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now you just like we're bringing up all this Diddy stuff. I just remembered that. Doesn't he like after Cassie gets his?
Oh my God, the nipples.
He likes Cassie rubbing.
So after the
other
escort
guys.
would finish with Cassie, like finish on her, she would take him to the bathroom and take the semen and rub it on his nipples.
Oh, on Diddy's nipples?
On
Diddy's nipples.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's gross.
Oh shit.
That's disgusting.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh man.
Maybe there's health benefits to that. What do you think?
I don't know. I would have thought that there would have been a lot of that happening in jail. So he must have had.
Yo, he must be having the time of his life in there. Like,
I know. He's like, no, please don't give me more time.
oh no, I dropped the soap.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's the guy that sits in the corner. He sits in the corner with a bandana covering his face in a bathrobe. And apparently his dick is the size of a Tootsie Roll.
No, oh my god.
You heard?
Imagine now everything about your life is out there. Huh?
Some lady that claimed she got raped by Diddy said she got pinned down on the bed. But then when she saw what he was working with, she noticed it was the size of a Tootsie Roll. So she said, I'll just put up with it because it's probably not going to hurt that bad.
Oh,
That's what she said. So now that's the image going around is Diddy has a dick the size of a Tootsie Roll.
That's wild. But you know what? It kind of makes sense why he would want to watch
That's what people are saying. That's why he's
girl
cucking.
fuck another man because he's insecure about himself.
yo, we're learning a lot about this guy. It's a lot of unpacking happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so switch that. We just too much on Diddy right now.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say maybe the child pornography thing or the child minors thing. It had to do with Kid Cudi. Maybe he's the kid.
Oh my god.
And that's like he's going down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Kid Cudi.
No, that's Usher. That's Usher, Justin Bieber, all
Neil.
these guys. Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever see the video of Neil's wife ripping into him?
Yeah, saying he's gay and everything.
And she's like, yeah, keep going your freak offs. Yeah, tell him about your freak offs.
Oh shit! Really?
And he's just playing
And he's just like playing, yeah, and he's not saying anything.
So like, where should you put it on like Instagram Live or something?
Something like that.
or something like
Oh
Like a
my
live or something. And
God.
like she was fucking mad at him. She's like, you keep bringing these people around my kids. Yeah, tell him about your little freak offs.
Oh shit!
Calling out Neil like that.
Oh my god! I mean, that's a part of it. That's like
He really said, come closer.
yeah. Damn, I can never listen to that song ever again. That same way. Yeah, I'm gonna
I fucking love that song.
I don't know any songs from two. Really sure I know like 1, 2, but can't think of them. off
Miss
the top.
Independent.
That's him trying to tell Diddy, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm trying to be Miss Independent.
Independent.
Apparently, they all have subliminal meanings.
Oh really? Oh
An
man.
Usher song, you got it bad. Apparently, that's because he wasn't with Diddy or something, and he was missing Diddy. So,
Oh my.
at least he has super conspiracy theory.
Well, one of the
Like, who's gonna write it? Like,
Yeah.
and these guys don't even write their own songs. So
I don't remember if it was the escort or one of Diddy's managers that was up on the stand, and they were saying that like the Illuminati is basically all this stuff happening behind the scenes. So when they're like putting up signs like this, like you guys are just gay, like you're just a bunch of gay men doing this behind the scenes. So that's what that actually is.
Well, we didn't have a face to the name, so it was just this anonymous association.
Yeah, everyone was like, what is this Illuminati thing they're always doing? And now it's like, it's coming out what the Illuminati actually is.
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
it's show business. How about Montreal show business?
Well, that's what I was gonna jump in, not Montreal show business, but I was gonna talk about that. I was like, you're pursuing music. I'm pursuing comedy. You've got a podcast now. You're doing other types
So
of.
video production, podcast, the
We're
photography,
oh sorry, I'm
Social-
sorry with this.
social media. Wait, I'll go make sure it's
Yeah.
clean. Social media management.
So we're in this world that we're trying to get into the entertainment industry, but then we're hearing all these stories about what's happening there. There's a part of it that's like that we don't need to go to this Hollywood place anymore. You can become famous from wherever you are. You know what I mean? Like with this, you can be from Montreal. You're gonna be famous around the world because you can do that from your living room. You know what I mean? Like these Mr. Beasts or whatever the people that are on the internet. You can live around the world, and if we ever find out that there's more than just this planet, now there is this thing called the internet that will make it that even on other places, people will be able to know about you. So I don't feel like there is necessarily this need to go to this place where all these people are doing these fucked up things anymore for you to be able to get known. However, I do feel that once you do get known, people from this place or from this
They're like
this-
vultures.
they'll come and they'll see how they can, So that's why I feel very blessed that, at a very young age, my parents were able to kind of shield me off and protect me from that. And even the producers that I worked with on that Just for Laughs gala were like, hey, this is great for a summer, but he can't be like missing school all the time and just become like this, start working, you know what I mean? So I have this part of me that I feel very grateful for what my parents did at a young age for me to be able to kind of grow older and have a sense of judgment to see like, do I want to go in this industry? And if I am going to go in this industry, I ought to kind of be aware that like, there's this kind of stuff happening around there, So on that end, I'm super grateful.
Yeah, but like Americans are weird. Like
They do be weird.
no disrespect. Y'all are a bit weird. Like, what are you doing? And like even like child actors where their parents just like, laisse faire, take care of my kid. Like, what is wrong with you? What is actually wrong with you?
Absolutely. And we're seeing all the effects that had when these Nickelodeon shows are coming out, that they're talking about all these
And they're
child
all
actors.
talking about freaking Dan Schneider, like how much of a creep he was and like a weirdo. And then you rewatch the shows and you see all the subliminal messaging. And you're like, what the hell is going on? These poor kids. Like, what was happening behind the
Oh
scenes?
yeah. Oh yeah. So that's why it's like when there is a democratisation, I like to say, of art, of content, where now there's no people except YouTube or the internet that govern what what's out there. You know what I mean? But I mean, maybe if you want to get to Netflix, you have to, go through those channels. But you can put your thing on YouTube. Like there's these kids. I'm segueing into another thing, but there's these kids, 5, 6 years old, from their bedroom. They're opening toys.
Yeah.
And they're making millions.
Thank.
And I've always had this scenario where I'm mom and dad walking into the kid's door, bedroom, and the kid is playing cars with his stacks of money going, "Paw, paw, paw." And then mommy and daddy walk up to little Timmy and go, hey, Timmy, mommy and daddy want to go spend 2 more weeks in Acapulco with the new friends they made. Can you give them a little bit of that mommy and daddy paper? And then the kid goes, okay, sure, fine. And he gives this.
But I
I'm
mean,
like,
technically speaking, like the parents have control of those funds, no?
they do. But I mean, this kid is making bank and the parents are going to be, either keeping it hopefully for the kid, for his education.
I wouldn't
whatever,
be
but-
able to do that as a kid, like play with Barbies on YouTube, because I'd make them fucking scissor. Like, what's
Anyway,
stupid
yeah,
with that,
you
you
know,
know? Like,
Banned right
It
away.
takes 30 seconds, their clothes are off, and then you're cutting the hair. You know what
we
I
didn't pay
mean?
the child
Yeah.
support. Well, you know.
And well, you too, by the way. I just want to mention the fact that I love that every year you're unveiling another part of your name, like how it's supposed to be on your passport. I love it because it's like the weekend, or kind of like every time there's a release, we're like, oh my god, she's gonna add one of her fifth names to her.
You know what's funny? I've been thinking about changing my name back.
Really? Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I've just been like, wouldn't it just be so funny if I went back to LCO?
I think also, there was a guy that used to change his name a lot often. He used to add a P, remove a P. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Certain guy we just spent 15 minutes talking about. The guy changed his name 20 times.
I have no clue who you're talking about.
Sean Combs. Okay.
Add a P, use a T, a P, go ahead.
Yeah. He was P. Diddy, he wasn't P. Diddy.
Puff Daddy.
Now he's inmate 537453. That's his name.
6'9".
Dash, comma, 3. Or as he's currently known in the showers, my bitch. Yeah.
If you want to write Diddy a letter or anything, you got the number right there. Hit him up. Hey guys, we gotta wrap up the show right now.
That's how we're gonna wrap the show.
Gotta wrap up the show. I'm looking at
You should have told me like at least I got 5 minutes. You would have
1 minute. You got 1 minute to wrap it.
Well, now you said to wrap it up, and I have something else I want to say.
1 minute.
Say it.
That
Say it.
apparently, like, because of these freak offs, like, a lot of the people in Hollywood were getting STDs and tossing them onto each other. Yeah, and the reason why Chris Brown beat Rihanna back in the day was because she gave him an STD.
Oh no.
Dude, we're leaving it on a cliffhanger now.
Oh my God. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to tune
Silly,
in.
wrap your willy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part 2 coming soon. Part 2 coming soon. But before we go, we gotta do something that we always do.
Oh, yes. Takes
Been a while since somebody has dropped a gem in this studio.
There's the
On this table because this is a new studio.
So I feel like I'm villain in Sonic with this thing in my hand and my bald head. No, like Mr. What's his name?
Why don't you spin it like a
We're just
Adrenal.
like headed a
An
little
adrenal,
bit.
it is.
That won't work.
It's big. This is a thick guy.
That's a thing. Yeah.
This is like a Tony Soprano like a ring thing, you know. Hey, come kiss the ring.
You come to me, my daughter's wedding.
I love it. This is
what you do with that gem. You hold that gem in your hand and you drop some knowledge for the people out there. It could be for the upcoming comedians in the city, somebody that's going to film school,
okay.
somebody that's losing hair. Could be anything.
Anyway.
First of all, this is gonna be for everybody. No matter what it is you want to do in your life, go do it. You want to go make cakes that look like, I don't know, fridges, and then you go on that show, is that cake? And then you're the best person on that show because you made a LG size fridge of a cake. Go do it. And if you fail doing it, at least you tried. Better than sitting at home and thinking what could have been if you made that fridge size cake, you know? So there's no idea that's crazy. You want to sing, go sing. Go learn how to sing. You might not be the best singer, but go learn. Go take your classes. Go figure out what you got to do. It takes 10,000 hours to be great at something. So go spend that time if you want to be great, you know? If it's comedy, it's going to be 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, until you get, 30-minute spots. But like, go do it. Spend that time. Be great at what it is you want to be great at. And there's no shame in failing. It's just learning for how to get even better. That's what I want to say, man. And go laugh. Laugh, man. Something tragic's going to happen in your life. It's going to be tragic for that time being. I can understand that. But sometimes if you look at it from a distance, it might end up being a good thing. And you might end up laughing a day later, a year later, 10 years later, because you were going to have understood what the purpose of why that happened. And you go, thank God that happened. Look at where I am now, you know? So that's what Chaplin said. He said, life is a tragedy when you look at it in a close-up, but it's a comedy when you look at it from far, from a distance. So some things, don't be too hard on yourself. Laugh it off. If you can, laugh it off. If it's the best way to shake it off. Get back up, shake it off, laugh, move on, you know? So that's what I like to say.
That was a very inspirational message.
Thank you.
I want to get the cake right now. Let's go get some cake, guys.
Cake?
Cake.
Yay, absolutely. There you go. And go eat cake. Don't deprive yourself of
Where
cake.
can the people find you online?
You can find me
you in real life.
in real life. You can find me once a month at the House of Jazz, the first Tuesday of the month. We always have an amazing lineup. We always have a great band as well. You can find me on Instagram at Mr. Fantastic Show, MISTER Fantastic Show. Or you can go on my website, mrfantastic.ca. I usually post all the places I'll be performing at that month, and you can buy your tickets for the House of Jazz there. And hope to see you at a comedy show. If you're somebody that loves to laugh, hope I see you there. If you don't like to laugh, please don't come. Save the room for those that do laugh. But learn to laugh and then come. Yeah.
And if you bring a hard-boiled egg to one of the shows with a mustache and a beard, you get a free entry.
I can't guarantee that for all the places. If you do that at the House of Jazz, I'll give you a drink. How about that?
Thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of the Hustle Podcast.
Thank you to these guys for having me. Support the Hustle Podcast. Support Talia. Support Steve on their own platforms as well. They're doing amazing things on their own, and they're helping people get visibility. So shout out to them. You guys are awesome.
Welcome, everybody.
Y'all ready for this?
The
Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.